In last week's Parsha, Parshas Tazria, the Torah spoke about how tsaras, this skin disorder, is identified, and the process by which the Kohen looks at a blemish that appears on a person's skin and declares whether that person actually has tsaras or not. In our Parsha, Parshas Metzora, the individual who has already been set aside, who's been told that they have to sit out of the camp until their tsaras, until their skin disorder heals, how this individual returns into society, what the purification process is for this individual to come back. In the very beginning of the parsha, the Torah describes that this individual has to bring a couple of birds, and there are things that are done with the birds, and there's water that's sprinkled upon them. And finally, individuals allowed to come back among the rest of Klal Yisrael, among the rest of the people, but they have to sit outside of their tent for a period of 7 days. After the 7-day period, the pasuk says, "Ubayom hashvi," on the 7th day, "Yigalach es kol se'aro." Person has to shave their entire body. Again, what parts of their body? Well, first it says all the hair. But then the Torah identifies and says there are 3 parts the person has to shave. Rosho, his head. Zikano, one has to shave their beard. Ve'esgabo seinav, their eyebrows. Why does the Torah specify these 3 areas if the Torah said you have to shave all of your hair? What is it about these 3 areas? The Kli Yakar explains that these 3 areas are connected to the reason why the individual first got tsaras. As we know and we mentioned last week, tsaras comes from lashon hara, comes from speaking badly about other people. So one has to shave these areas of their body because it's connected to somehow the way in which they projected themselves towards others. The first is the rosh, the first is the head. The individual has to shave their head because the head represents the highest part of the body. And this person saw themselves as being higher than everyone else. They had a sense of gasus haruach. They had a sense of arrogance about themselves that made them feel that they were better than everyone else. So if they were better than everyone, that meant that they were able to speak about anyone else. And that brought about their tsaras. Therefore, they have to shave their head. But then, their beard they have to shave. And the reason for the beard is because the beard surrounds the mouth. And the mouth is a place from which lashon hara, evil speech, emanated. And finally, one's eyebrows, says the Kli Yakar. And the reason why the person had to shave their eyebrows is because it was covering the eyes. And the eyes was what brought the person to speak lashon hara in the first place, to have evil speech. And that was because the way a person looked at other people brought them ultimately to bring out of their mouth negativity towards others. And so as we learn about the purification process, as we read about how this person is able to bring themselves to get back into society, to recognize their mistake for our purposes, it's important to heed this lesson of where the individual had to shave to recognize that we also have to focus on 3 things. A, our head, to be humble, and not to perceive ourselves as being better than anyone else. We are as best as we can be. We are trying to be the best the way Hashem made us. And it doesn't mean that we have to put anyone else down to be on top of them. The second, our peh, our mouths. Sometimes we may think something. It does not mean that we have to say something. Evil speech can not only destroy the lives of other people, but destroys our own sense of self as well. And third, how it is that we look at other people. Where the Metzora had to shave their eyebrows because they looked at other people in a negative way. Perhaps the ability for us to start looking at others not in a negative light. We all know there's so much negativity that we could possibly see. But to strive to look at other people in a positive light, and in a positive way, in a positive fashion. May we all be zoche, indeed, to take all the lessons of the Metzora and their purification and apply it to our lives. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.